All right guys, welcome back to another one. It's been a little while since we've made a video. We kind of took our little month hiatus here just to kind of enjoy some family, wind down from the season, take a little break. But from now on, we're back. The title of today's video that we're going with is our 1 year review saddle hunting. We're gonna cover like what we talked about it, the tips and tricks we used, and some of the different things that we've added to the saddle, what scenarios we hunted in it versus a tree stand, and just our overall opinion on what we thought about it. So Will's gonna go in here and we're gonna go over some tips that we kind of learned and things that made our process a little bit more streamlined for this past hunting season. And yeah, that's what we're gonna talk about in today's video, so we hope you enjoy it.
Alrighty folks, so like Tyler said, this is gonna be our 1 year review video. As you guys saw in our videos from last fall, we probably hunted out of these saddles and these Predator XL stands from Tethered probably 85–95% of the time that we went out. And our goal here today is to just explain something that we like, some things that we didn't like, and kind of the tips that we learned along the way. And the first tip that I'm going to share with you guys is all about this Predator XL stand and this piece of paracord that we put on top. Doesn't look like much, but this little piece of string really helped us out during the season. For Tyler and I, almost all of our hunts are filmed, so that means we have a lot of extra gear that we're going into the woods with. And when we have stuff falling all over the place, camera gear, tripods, camera arms, it makes it super easy to carry this little stand if you put a piece of paracord on top, and it allows your hands to have something else carrying in with it when you're walking. And another thing that we learned later in the season is when it gets cold, these stands get cold. So having this piece of string when you're walking in or walking out makes it a lot easier than having to have, you know, your fingers through your fingerless gloves rubbing on this cold metal. Alrighty guys, so next thing we're going to talk about is our climbing sticks. Being that we're always hunting in saddles and these stands, we don't have dedicated ladders on these trees. It's usually a mobile setup, so we have to bring climbing sticks with us. Alrighty guys, so the sticks that we had used last fall were the Hawk Helium 3-step sticks. Now there's a lot of things that we like and there's a lot of things that we don't like about these sticks. One of the things that we love, we usually carry these in a pack of 5 and they're 3-step. And we also like the fact that they compact pretty decently. For 5 3-step sticks, it's not too bad of a space that it takes up. One of the things we don't like is the weight. The weight on these Hawk Heliums is a lot heavier than those premium hunting sticks that are out there, which is one of the reasons why this year we're probably going to be switching to a new stick that's a lot lighter, such as the Tethered one.
All right, so Will just covered kind of the stands, the sticks and stuff, and how we get to the how we walk everything in, hike everything in. The next thing I'm going to talk about is I normally always wear my saddle in. Will, however, puts his in a bag, so that's just one thing that we both do differently. I find it a lot easier. They pretty much weigh like nothing, so I have mine with I believe this is the Sis Hauler 2.0, I think, and then this might just be the Sis Hauler. But what I do is, let's imagine that we're all the way up the sticks and we're at the top of the tree. On my left hand bag, I have my tether. Or sorry, I have my lineman's rope. So like if we're on the tree, I throw this around and I'll be clipped in here, like so. So imagine me at the top of the tree. I've got my lineman's, which I believe this is the 8mm lineman's rope from Tethered, along with the Ropeman 1. So imagine me at the top of my sticks here. The Ropeman 1 on your lineman is pretty important. I only actually last year had one Ropeman and I designated it to my lineman because when you're going up and down the tree, it's very easy to adjust your lineman for different things versus the Prusik knot. So the Ropeman 1 technically says it's not rated for the 8mm rope, but use at your own risk. However, I never had any issues with it, so that's that. But anyways, I'll get up on the tree here. So at this point, I'll be with my lineman's. What I'm gonna do is on my right hand pouch, I reach over, I pull out my tether. So I'll throw my tether around the tree about at my shoulder height. I'll pull everything through, get it cinched up here, like so. And then I wear my my bridge wrapped up around here so it's not flopping around when I hike in. And I'll clip into my bridge. At this point, I'm double secured, so I will take my lineman, unclip my lineman, and then I just fold this up like here. I have it permanently attached to my lineman loop. I stuff this back into my sys hauler, cinch it up, done. So once I'm in the tree, my tethered is connected. A thing I bought for this year is I bought a second Ropeman 1. The reason being, I wanted one on my tethered just because I like them so much. But anyways, I'm strapped in the tree. Now there's several different things I do here. Number one, I loosen my waist belt a little bit. Not that loose. And what I'll do is I'll kind of adjust my saddle here to kind of just give me a little bit more comfort, okay? And there's many different things. Number one, the bridge, if you have it a lot looser, it'll feel more open on your waist. But if you tighten it down, it'll kind of cup you better. So there's many different adjustments there, along with the different beads here on your saddle. These are adjustment for the pressure of the saddle. This adjusts whether the pressure is lower here or higher on your back. That's one thing I really like. Another thing is a couple inches on your tethered adjust everything a lot more. There's so much adjustment here. So those are a couple things originally right out of the gate we noticed and we really liked.
All right, so now that Tyler kind of showed you how we get up and made safe in the tree and connected, I'm gonna go through what we do next to get our his strap, which is the strap that we tie all our gear to, and how we get our bow up and anything else that we have still on the ground. So the first thing we do is I like to put my his strap, which is in my right sys hauler, around the tree, just under our tethered. All right, so once our his strap is on the tree, this is gonna serve as our base plate to pull up everything else. I'll then immediately take my hero clip. I'll put my hero clip on the his strap, and this is gonna hold my bow.
Or backpack.
Or backpack. And then I'll take my bowstring and I'll clip that on, pull up my bow goes on here. As well as the bow, we also have a lot of camera gear like we said earlier. So usually we have a backpack, a camera arm, some snacks, whatever else that we have that needs to hang from the tree usually goes on this his strap. Another area that we can connect gear to is right on our tether, this Prusik knot. Now, like Tyler said, we use the Ropeman 1, so we don't really need this Prusik knot, but we still keep it on our tether. That way we can hang extra gear and stuff right here that we need right in front of us. Sometimes I'll throw a pair of gloves, whatever I really need to use interchangeably a lot, usually goes right in front of me. So one of the other things that Tyler mentioned earlier is how he walks in versus how I walk in. He typically likes to put his saddle on. I like to keep mine in my backpack, and then when I get to the base of the tree, I quickly put it on. And another thing that I also do is these tethered Phantom saddles come with these little elastic bands around all the loose nylon straps, and they allow you to they put those straps on so you can kind of coil up your extra length on these straps. And I really think that helps from the saddle getting caught on extra sticks, twigs, prickle bushes, especially in the Northeast where we are. So one thing that I highly recommend is just coiling up all your extra gear and putting it, tuck it away so it's not grabbing extra branches and stuff as you're going up.
So moving on, this is kind of another tip that's necessarily not exactly pertain to saddle hunting, but as we're going through this and talking about our setup on how we have our sys haulers and everything, I always keep a pouch of milkweed. So I just have an old tin here that fits perfectly in this pocket, and I have milkweed in it. So I can always pull out a little bit and watch what the wind is doing. Milkweed is a great way to do that. So whenever we're out hunting and stuff and there's a big batch of it in the woods, I always grab a couple handfuls and stuff in my pockets. That way I have it for the season or the next couple years or whatever. So moving on from there, now we're kind of set up hunting, and now we're like getting into like, okay, what's the comfortability now, how the different adjustments I have on that stuff. So we've been in the tree, we're all set up. Now we're gonna get set up to kind of hang out for a while. So there's a couple different ways I'll stand here. Mainly on the platform, I will stand with my feet off the edge, like so. And that's where the Predator XL platform, to me, it's kind of worth a little bit extra weight just because there's a little bit bigger area to stand and more maneuverability here. So like I just said, normally I'll stand on the edge, but going from there, sometimes I put my foot up here on top of the stand, and it can just give me, you know, different pressure points, a little bit different comfortability. There's just so many different ways to sit. And you know, it might look like I'm trying to like using my abs to hold me up or something, but it's I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's something like you just have to try a saddle. So we don't want this video to sound like a promotion for Tethered, because that's not the goal of this. We're not paid or anything like that. We just like we went out on a limb. We wanted to try something new, and we got these saddles thinking that there was going to be situations where the saddle would be something we used instead of a tree stand, or there would be a better situation where a tree stand would be better. But actually, after we got the saddles, being very optimistic and open to maybe it will work, maybe it won't, maybe we will like it, maybe we won't. As soon as we got the saddles, honestly, I don't think we hunted out of a tree stand. Did we hunt out of a tree stand after that, Will?
Once or twice.
Once or twice. We actually, like, the first 2 or 3 times we hunted, it's like, okay, something totally new, a little different, you have to get used to it. But once we figured out a system, it was awesome. We love it. There's so much comfortability. So going on from there, I just wanted to throw that little disclaimer out. But going from there, we're set up. We're kind of in the long term now. This is the backrest. I think it's called the recliner. What we'll do is I'll throw mine on like so, and then it gets clipped into your carabiner like this. Now, once we're set up, this is what changes the game for saddle hunting here. The recliner, there's a bunch of different positions you can be. Once I get set up, I might, I might lower my tether a little bit, give me a more angle here, or I might be more up here, depending on what area I'm gonna sit in. But this, I feel like I'm literally hanging out in a recliner chair. I can sit like this all day. It's very comfortable. I can put my feet on different areas. I can move off to this side of the tree, but different things like that. I will say a must-have though for saddle hunting is the knee pads. If you don't, I mean, these are the Tethered knee pads. We love them. They're fantastic. They're durable. I mean, as you can tell, I've got mine all beat up. We hunted hard out of the saddles and stuff. But the knee pads are kind of a must-have just to provide that comfortability and improve it a little bit. But the recliner, definitely a must-have in my opinion for the comfort. Okay, so another tip that I want to give you guys is when you're saddle hunting, for me personally, I'm a right-hand shooter, so I'll have my bow here. Let's say I was hunting out in this open field, right? And I expect deer to come from this way. I would position myself on the back side of this tree. So now when deer are coming, I'm looking down, deer are coming at me now. I have the whole tree to hide behind. And that's something that's a lot different from tree stand hunting. You're open from where the deer are probably gonna come from. So being able to hide around the tree, especially with 2 guys in the tree, Will and I have found it very, very useful for movement to be hiding behind the tree, which is very nice. So that's a huge plus that I have found from saddle hunting. A second plus is movement. I would say that there is more movement in a saddle versus a tree stand, but I think you can get away with the movement more in a saddle because everything is a lot more fluent, okay? Let's say a deer's coming. I can slowly get up and move around. And I can put my foot here and I can slowly twist around the tree. I can reach over, get my bow. Everything is a lot more fluent that I'm connected here. To go to sit down, everything is just a lot more smooth and fluent. And I feel like when you're in a tree stand, if you're in the sitting position, you kind of gotta get up, and that movement is just a lot more versus just slowly coming up like this, as well as being tucked behind the tree. Another thing is going to be you kind of can shoot anywhere. In a tree stand, you're a little bit limited, but if a deer's coming over here, I can put my foot here at the top of the stand, a lot of times we'll have our tree steps at that height of the stand. You can move all the way over. And now, you know, I can get a shot all the way over here, where I can swing back around, get to this side, and get a shot way over here. It does take a little bit of practice, but once you get used to it, like, the possibilities are endless. Ideally, like, this is my optimal shooting spot here, 180 degrees. But if I want to shoot right over here, I can get up against the tree, throw this over my shoulder. Now I just feel like I'm in a tree stand with my safety harness, you know? I've got all this I can shoot now. The possibilities are endless, and that's something that we love about the saddle hunting.
Alrighty guys, so to sum things up here, we want to talk about why we ultimately decided to get saddles. I know Tyler mentioned it, we wanted to try something too, but another reason we really looked into these was because when you're filming, you have so much extra gear than when you're regularly just hunting. And so the first couple, I don't know, trial runs over the summer that we did with our new XOP stands, which are super light, they're only like 12 pounds, we still thought that it was just too much weight and too much bulk of material to carry around through the woods, especially when you're trying to be quiet and trying to get to the spots that we wanted to get to on some pretty big public land pieces. So we went with these tethered Phantom saddles, like we mentioned, and I actually weighed them this morning. So everything that you're looking at here is about 8.5 pounds per person, and that includes the Predator platform, the saddles, the ropes, the hitch straps, all the clips. 8.5 pounds. And like Tyler actually mentioned to me earlier, it's nice that you can kind of distribute the weight a little bit. So it's not 8.5 pounds on your back, it's 8.5 pounds all over your body, which is super nice.
Yeah, so a big thing is, like, we were at one of the trade shows this year, and we've been going to this light system now. That's when, like, the climbing stick shows, like, man, these are really heavy, especially when you're hiking a mile through the woods. They're a little bit more awkward to carry. So we were looking into other options, and we know that Tethered came out with the Tethered One stick that weighs 1 pound, and we're like, oh man, people are like, you can carry 6 sticks and not even feel it, and we're like, all right, yeah, whatever. So we felt them at the trade show. I could do finger curls with 6 sticks on it, pretty much. That's how light they were. They're freaking legit. So
yeah,
they are a little bit pricey, which is understandable.
All right.
For the price that, or for what they are, but we think that we're going to switch to those just because of how light they are. We can put 6 of them on the backpack and not have to worry about it.
All right.
Especially when there's a lot of times, yeah, if there's 2 of us, Will and I are hunting together, it's a little bit easier to distribute things. But if it's like just me going in with my camera gear, camera arm, the sticks, my saddle, like, it's just a ton of stuff. Plus my bow, it ends up being a lot of weight. So anywhere where we can cut weight is probably worth it.
Absolutely. And that was probably the #1 reason why we went to a saddle.
Yeah.
The lightweight makes it so much easier. The versatility and the mobility of these saddles versus a traditional, traditional tree stand is night and day in our opinion. So, with all that being said, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I think we like I said before, we didn't want this to be a promotional video. We just want it to be more of like an informational video, right? Because we were skeptical about it, and we actually love it. You know, maybe you won't like it, but for us, like,
it works. We
love it so much that I want to share it with the hunting community. A lot of our friends have gotten into saddle hunting because of, we kind of took the leap, and a lot of our friends in our area now saddle hunt, and they also love it. So it's awesome. We think it's a lot of fun. It's kind of throw that new spin on hunting,
Yeah.
And it's just I don't know, it's enjoyable to saddle hunt.
Absolutely.
The comfortability of it for me is probably the biggest thing.
Absolutely.
Besides the lightweight.
With all that being said, we truly recommend you guys, if you know someone with a saddle, try it out. We know they're expensive, so we don't want you to tell you to just go out and buy a saddle.
And it doesn't have to be tethered gear.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be. There's plenty of other companies that have saddles. We just wanted to give our opinion on it and our feedback and kind of some things. Actually, I forgot one more thing. There's these little molly straps on the back of our saddles that we purchased. They're an aftermarket purchase, but going up the tree, we clip sticks on to the back here That way, when you're climbing up the tree, I put one on the tree, and then I've got 2 more on my back just to keep going up. So that just makes it a little bit easier for us. But that being said, closing thoughts, Will?
We're excited for this year. We loved them last year. We probably hunted at them 50 times.
Yeah.
And we'll probably hunt at them close to 50 times again this year. So
yeah. We do have some different things coming. We have some, we're in the works of planning some different style hunts this year, so we're excited about that. And we really hope you guys will subscribe to the channel. We love interaction with you guys, and we love the comments and everything like that. So we're just trying to share the news about hunting, and we hope you enjoy the videos, and we hope you have fun. Our biggest goal here is to portray what it's like to hunt with us and hang out and our real lives. We don't want to sugarcoat anything for you, so we try to be as real as we can, and
yeah, absolutely.
we hope that shows. So with that being said,
thanks guys for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.
see ya.